Welcome to my basement, everybody. We've got a very cool special Friday episode for you today, and if you are as big of a Marvel fanboy as I am, or as big of a Lego fanboy as I am, you're going to be very excited because we have TT Games' own Arthur Parsons on the line with me. He is hard at work, still working on the games late at night on Friday night, and decided that he would take a little bit of time out and join us. And so bravo, and thank you very much for joining us, Arthur. This is awesome, man.
You're very, very welcome. It's a nice breakaway, and the game's out in the UK today. So today is UK launch day. So everybody's actually gone out on the town. I think
That's to celebrate and have a party tonight.
Yeah, and abandoned me.
Oh,
So
that's nice. So it's just you in the office with
I've got Joe as well, actually, because we believe it or not, right now this second we're actually recording VO. So I've left Joe in charge of that, but some VO for DLC stuff for the game. So yeah, we're still going.
Well, how are you guys feeling? Because it's a massive game, and you guys don't seem to not want to make anything but massive games. I mean, I feel like you challenge yourselves to almost kill yourselves with every release that you do. How does it feel to ship this one?
Yeah, it's a really good feeling, actually.
Yeah.
They don't start out being as big as they end up.
Okay.
That's we usually have this plan of it's going to be this, and it's all right, and then obviously we have a production team, and so the producers are like, they all schedule it out, and it all fits. Yeah, we've got the time, everything brilliant, we've got the people, and then as we go along, it just kind of it swells. It gets big.
How important was this game? Because you're obviously coming off of Lego Dimensions, which I'm an enormous fan of, and I have to tell you, I was skeptical when I saw that. I was like, okay, they're doing the Skylanders Disney Infinity thing too. But that game is so incredible because it mixes all of these worlds so wonderfully, and I really love that game, and my daughter who plays with me loves that game, gets excited about every new pack that we bring in. But how important was this one coming off of Lego Dimensions, because you kind of had to show the world that a solitary licensed game was still very important, right?
Yeah, definitely. For me, because in the office here in Knutsford, we have with Lego Worlds we have 3 teams, but there's 2 core teams. So I was busy on Avengers while the other team's on Dimension. It's great not working on a game because then you get to play. I get to play it and enjoy it, which was good.
Yeah.
But seeing what they were doing, I was like, no way. They're mashing up all these great properties. And then they had all these adventure worlds, and we were sat there going, hold on, we need to kind of dial this up a bit. What can we do that they can't do to make sure that the standalone Lego games come out and still have this sort of bang, this impact, and hence why we've got over 200 characters, hence why there's all these extra hub worlds. And for me, this and the team, this was important because we've been here with Lego Marvel Superheroes, and we wanted to come back and make it bigger, make it better, make it more sort of special for people. Because you look Lego Marvel's Avengers, it's like it's not Avengers, it's everything. It's the whole Marvel universe through that like Avengers sort of slant, and this one was really important. And it was fun. These games, believe it or not, making them is fun. We were sat before doing one of the video sessions, and we had 20 minutes where we were just in stitches because of a little bit of faux pas on one of the lines that the voice actor had said. And it's 10 o'clock, half 10 in the UK, but it's still fun.
That's awesome. Well, it's clear when you're playing the game that you guys are you're paying homage to a lot of what's been happening in the MCU. And, as a gamer who loves these properties and has been wanting to see more, superhero video games in general, I mean, I feel like a lot of them, apart from the Arkham games, have kind of moved away for a while. It's great to finally be able to play the Avengers. It's great to finally play through these sequences that we've seen on screen. And we saw the Avengers come out. There was no Avengers game tied to that launch. We saw the Age of Ultron movie come out. There was no Avengers Age of Ultron real game tied to that. And I feel like we are getting that with the Lego Marvel's Avengers. And the other thing that I dig is that you're also bouncing through the timelines of the other MCU movies.
Yeah, and I don't know why I think tie-in games have kind of had a bad rap over the years. We all know that.
Yeah.
We've all been stung by plenty of games over the years from all different movie tie-ins, and for us, it's so important that no matter what the property, we're authentic. Yes, we take the mick. Yes, we add in pigs and milkshakes and crazy weird stuff in the background and all sorts of stuff, but we're also incredibly authentic while playing with a property.
Yeah.
And so, for us, being given, the Avengers, Age of Ultron, and all those other movies, Cap and Thor, and it's a bit of an honor. And then we've got to make sure, right, let's do this justice. We're fanboys, probably more than most people. We're fanboys, and so you have to do it justice. And I was really excited when I got told we were coming back. I didn't know that we were going to come back to the Marvel Universe. You see,
yeah.
And when I did find out, we did put a little bit of a nod at the end of Lego Batman 3, because we found out right towards the end, and that was happy times. Happy times, but to know we were coming back to another great superhero franchise.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember interviewing you for the show for Lego Marvel Superheroes, and that ended up being one of my favorite, if not my favorite, PlayStation 4 launch game. I just fell in love, But I remember hearing your enthusiasm and you sort of sharing the gospel of the enthusiasm that your whole team had for building that. But it must have been sort of, on the fence about whether Disney and Marvel were going to play with you guys again, because they probably knew that this Lego Dimensions thing was going to be coming, and now you're going head to head with their big Disney Infinity product, right? So, tell me about how that came together.
That's it. It's one of those things that's we've been making games for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And we work with all kinds of different people, whether it's Disney, whether it's Universal, whether it's Fox, whoever, and we will always work with the right people to make the game that gamers want.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about working because obviously we're part of Warner Brothers. I love the fact that Warner Brothers are just like, listen, whatever's going to make the best game, you go and make it. And that's why we've had Pirates of the Caribbean or Jurassic World, or obviously Lego Marvel's Avengers. It is great. And then the whole Lego Dimensions thing, that blew my mind, because I knew it was obviously going on. I could see the stuff in the office, and I knew, I thought it was just going to be a few franchises, from the Warner family, Batman and Lord of the Rings and the Lego Movie.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I see Homer Simpson's in one of the things. I was like, hold on, no one told me Simpsons was in there. And they were like, yeah, we don't tell you because you'd go and blab. And it was like, and then you see they've got Portal in there. The retro pack that they're finishing up. That's so sweet. Being able to play Super Sprint, Gauntlet, like the original emulations. It is brilliant. And that Ghostbusters pack was supreme. And for us, obviously, being British, Doctor Who was very special. And my assistant game director, Stephen, he's wanted to work on Lego Doctor Who for probably 9 years. His university dissertation project was along those lines. And he was like, do you mind if I go off of Avengers for 6 months? And I was like, can you do 50-50? And he was like, yeah, as long as I can go and do it. And it's like, all right, you go and do that, and as long as you're working half your half. So for us, it's great that people see that we're so authentic with brands. I remember a quote on it's going back 5 or 6 years, but on when we did Lego Harry Potter, I read the first review came out, and it just the review just summed up with saying, this is the most authentic Harry Potter video game there's ever been. And that to me was like that. That is it, job done. Because I'm a comic geek, but I'm also a Potter geek. And that's what we do with everything we do. And so if you play the Ghostbusters pack for Dimensions, it's really faithful.
I know, it's amazing.
While still being ridiculously silly.
It was the Portal 2 pack that made me just blew my mind in Lego Dimensions. It's like, oh my God, I'm playing this game all about perspective and shifting through portals and trying to deal with puzzles that way, but now from a whole other third-person perspective with freaking Homer Simpson in the portal, and it was just like it blew my mind, you know. And I get the sense that Warner Brothers, because it's a multi-threaded media company and works in, you know, certainly a cutthroat Hollywood sort of business where everybody's out to be the number one, but they all, I think, have been working side by side for so long. Do you think that that's part of why Warner Brothers is helping to make things like Lego Dimensions possible? I mean, this is probably the closest to a Roger Rabbit video game that exists right now. But I can't imagine that an EA or an Activision or a Ubisoft could have pulled that off if they were the shepherds of trying to pull all of those licenses together.
Yeah, you're probably right. There were so many people, working on Lego Dimensions, and they effectively imagine it's like a giant toy chest.
Yeah.
And you've never been able to get in that toy chest, because it's got this like ridiculous security system on it. And then there's just like these people that just come in and set, big jangly set of keys, and are just like, "Oh, you wanted to get in here? Okay, yeah, open there." And it's like, oh my word, and yeah, it is truly terrific, and it's not like that's going to stop. The Dimension stuff is going to be supported, carrying forwards, and I'm sure they've got some brilliant stuff up their sleeves for that.
Well, everybody that's watching this right now, and thank you everybody for tuning in. I'll get to some of your questions here in a second, but everybody that's watching this right now, including myself, is wondering when and if Star Wars and Marvel become a part of the equation. And I know you can't answer that, but that's what everybody is wondering. Is this ever going to happen? You have the image I'm seeing right now is Lego Dimensions behind you and Marvel characters in front of you, and DC's up in the corner there. I mean, it will blow everybody's minds if you're able to get DC and Marvel into a game together. You guys know that, right?
Oh yeah. But this is accidental, by the way.
Yeah.
they're not strategically placed for any reason. It is purely coincidental, because I got thrown out of my desk area.
It's cool, man. Geeks love all of this stuff, man. We can all get along with all of it.
That's it. You've got to have toys.
Yeah.
And our office is obviously there's like 550 people altogether in all the different locations, and everybody's desk is different. Everybody's. I think mine's probably the messiest, and has the most random, eclectic collection of stuff. Whereas you have some people that are very, very specific with their interests. There's one guy downstairs, and everything is just Sailor Moon. It's just that's it, nothing bar Sailor Moon. It's very bizarre. But yeah, mine's just this eclectic mix of stuff that I randomly pick up at Comic-Con or whatever. Excellent
job at dodging my question, though. By the way, that was fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes, that was very good. You've got a great career in politics, my friend. No, but let's talk a little bit about the content that you are able to work with. Is it all Marvel Cinematic Universe, or are you going into the comic lore and pulling stuff up that we've never seen in any video game before in the Avengers game?
Yeah, definitely. It was the very first thing. What I think a lot of people that play games, they don't necessarily know how games are like pieced together.
Yeah.
They just think there's like a bunch of like really sort of probably really smelly people in an office that just knock something out over a period of time. The fact is, we have a great relationship with Marvel and Lego, and Warner Brothers, and it comes down to sitting in rooms just going, what are we going to do? What are we going to add? What are we going to put into this game that's going to make it stand out from competitive products, but also our own products? And so, yeah, this game has obviously MCU content from pretty much all of Phase 2. You've got Avengers: Age of Ultron, Captain America, First Avenger, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Thor 2: The Dark World, or just Thor: The Dark World. There's no 2 in it. Mm-hmm. And Iron Man 3. So you got that in there. You then have TV show content, because we're massive Peggy Carter fans.
She's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like, let's try and get Haley Atwell to say yes to being in the game. And the guys at Marvel were like, that would be so cool. Let's do some Peggy Carter content. So we've got that, and Haley did some voice work for us, which was great. So there's stuff from that. There's little nods, obviously, to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the main game. And again, Clark Gregg came in to help us out with that. Kobe Smulders as well, for Maria Hill. And then it's comic stuff. So classic, iconic moments from comic history, which are in the main game, and also modern stuff. We have, really recent. I actually, someone tweeted me earlier today saying, the quests in there for Wiccan and Hulkling, were almost like everything he'd imagined as he was reading the issues, with those guys in, like. If he imagined them coming to life off the page, and he could like be there with them, these were the quests. This is how they would talk, and so yeah, we've gone like comic books from way back, the beginning of comics, right up to modern day with those guys, and Kamala Khan and Jane Foster Thor and things like that. And it's there was no sort of like locked away stuff. Bill and Mike and Christian and all the other folks over at Marvel were just like, what can we do to really make this great? What
Awesome.
can we do? And this is why there's so many characters.
Yeah.
I'm sat there waiting to do the panel with Bill, and we're talking, and then he's like, I've never showed you this. Opens his iPad, and it was like a new comic that was coming out a couple of weeks later, and he goes, "Do you see this character? We haven't put Superior Iron Man in the game," and it's like, we really should do that. And it's like, oh, come on, Bill, we kind of locked this down now. And he's like, yeah, but you have to do this. And then and it's that constant thing. And then Lego sort of like got in touch and we're like, we've got this, we're going to do a White Tiger minifig, and do you think there's room to squeeze her in? And then it just escalates, and then you've got people on Twitter saying, can we have this, can we have that?
Right.
And then that's where it gets out of control. And I'm just like, yeah, let's do, running at the front, leading the charge, going, yeah, we'll do all this. And I've got the producers in the office going, hold on, we didn't sign up to this.
You know how much pizza we got to buy to build all this? Yeah,
exactly. And you know what? Believe it or not, that's how it boils down.
Yeah.
You know that things are busy when on Monday night it's a Domino's run.
Yeah, for sure.
Other pizza companies are available, but it's so much fun, and the Marvel universe especially, because we are all we all love that. Yeah. We all love every aspect.
I was at that panel, man. It was a great panel. Greg Miller hosted it. It was tons of fun, very energetic, and you guys had lots of great reveals. But the thing that really struck out for me was Bill Roseman cried. He cried talking about how important getting these Marvel video games right was to him. He's a Marvel guy, part of their, I guess, their content affiliation group or their partner group. And that was amazing. I mean, that was like, okay, well, this guy really is a true believer. You also had Stan Lee at that panel, so it was a ton of fun, especially because I'm a huge fan, So I really feel like that's what you guys have been doing, is just honoring the fans and honoring, not letting us down with this stuff, which must feel really good to you guys.
It does, yeah. It's I absolutely adore Bill because he is very much, very much like me, that he just oozes passion. He can't. He's not one of those people that can just sort of hold back and be calm and collected.
Yeah.
He just has to go for it, because it's just everything. There's no room inside him for it to process. It just has to explode. And he just, he is probably the most passionate man I've met when it comes to Marvel comic book content. It's terrific, and his knowledge is impeccable, absolutely impeccable.
Well, that's who you want in that kind of a position, isn't it? Well,
exactly.
Let's talk about the. So you have 200 characters in Lego Marvel Avengers as it stands.
Yeah. This obviously it's 200 when we have a few extra characters. So you've got normal classic Squirrel Girl and unbeatable Squirrel Girl.
Right.
So yeah, to go over the 200, you kind of adding a couple of extras in there.
Sure.
But yeah, we clear that hurdle pretty well. That was we got to a point where it's like we're going to have to just go for it now.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, what room do you leave for season pass content then? What are you guys going to do? Are you going to carry on from, because it sounds like Age of Ultron is the last of the MCU titles, but now we're starting to see Phase 3. We've seen Benedict Cumberbatch in his Doctor Strange outfit. Ant-Man is is a great movie, and we know that there's a sequel with Wasp. Are we starting to see a little bit of that, Black Panther, that kind of thing?
Yeah. So what we've actually got. You put me on the spot now because I don't think we've officially revealed it, but it doesn't matter.
Yep,
So
that's what I've
we
done.
so we have. I won't dodge this one. So we have Ant-Man content from the movie. So that was actually that's Sony exclusive for PS3 and PS4. So you're going to be able to play like a snippet of the movie, and then I think we've got 8 characters in that pack, as well as a vehicle, so you can fly around on Anthony the Ant.
Cool.
Which is terrific. So you'll have Yellow Jacket and Hank Pym and Hope Van Dyne. It's a cool pack. So that's there. The season pass that got out of control. It worked really well on obviously our previous game, and we thought, yeah, let's do that again. So we've got a bit of a mix there. So we're looking at stuff that people are excited about, and I'm excited for Doctor Strange. So we're never ever going to be able to sort of put content in that way ahead of a movie's launch, but we can get people excited about Doctor Strange. So we've got classic Doctor Strange in the main game, and then the season pass is actually all new, all different Doctor Strange, who's very cool, but in a retelling of a very old, very, very classic story from the comics. And that I'm really excited about. So that's one of them. And there's obviously there's 7 characters in Doctor Strange in that. So that's really good. There's a classic Black Panther storyline.
Nice.
Set in Wakanda. So again, that's really, really exciting. That was actually some of the voice work we did earlier, which was amazing.
I'm laughing because last night I was telling my daughter about vibranium and Wakanda. And
oh right,
and she's 3, so it was a fun conversation.
I can only imagine. But yes, yeah. So we got that one, Captain Marvel, which is really good because this is an area that of my comic book knowledge that is a little bit of an empty hole. So I'm getting to learn all about that cosmic area, which is really, really exciting. So we're going to have Captain Marvel, and again, 9 characters in that, I think. We have Masters of Evil, which was like first one on the list because this is the classic Zemo group as well. That's really good.
Nice.
Radiation Man and a few others that I'm probably not allowed to say, but they're so good. And getting Zemo in the game was like, yes, we have a complete A to Z. So there's that one, and then my favorite one of the lot, because I'm a huge fan, Agents of Shield.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And that's actually dialing directly into some of the show content. So we're working with the guys there over on the show. We've just added some characters as well because it was like, hold on, no, 8 characters isn't enough. So I think we've ended up with 11 there, and that pack is going to be something special, mainly because I've sort of, we're going to just do that. And it's like, hold on, you said it was only going to be this big. It's like, yeah, no, but it's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I want to do this, I want to do that.
They have the Inhumans in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too, right?
They do.
Yeah,
they do.
So you're going to have some of those characters too?
You never know. We might dial into something related.
All right. Nice.
But we'll be pretty up to date. So yeah, for those that aren't into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., watch the show. Get really, really right up to date. It's so good. So we've got that one as well, and then there was a Thunderbolts pack as well that you can get, which is that's a really, really good group of characters. So yeah, there's over 250 characters.
Can I suggest a team? Have you got because I'm representing Canada here, I guess. I'm from Vancouver, so do you have Alpha Flight anywhere in this sucker at all? Have you got any of those guys in there? That would be amazing. Come on, everybody wants to have Sasquatch running around. That'd be great. And Puck.
It wasn't Wendigo originally from Canada?
I think so. And North Star. I don't know all of the characters. I have to be honest. I didn't read all of those books, but I have become familiar with them as I've learned more and more about comics.
You have to represent Canada, obviously.
And you got to. Yeah, absolutely.
That's the only reason that Union Jack went in the game is the fact that we're British. So
that's great.
You can't not put Union Jack and Captain Britain in a game.
Let me ask you about that because I get the sense that a lot of the games that you work on also have to kind of come from the passion that's within TT Games. Like, you guys got to be fired up to make these things. So, and you have all of these different play sets, these digital play sets and environments and the character creation tools. You've got it down. You're able to make these massive games relatively quickly. I don't think another studio could make Lego Marvel's Avengers in the time it took you guys to make Lego Marvel's Avengers. Yeah, but I mean, do you guys make your own Lego games? Do you guys go, well, there's no James Bond Lego, why don't we just make that and we'll play that ourselves? Do you guys do that kind of thing? Do you have little hobby Lego projects that you're working on? You do, don't you? You do. I can tell.
There's the model guys are the guys that do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there's a team downstairs of I think there are 8 people now, Chaz and Carl and Alex and a few others, and their job is to make physical 3D Lego. So like this here, which is like Agent Coulson's Lola.
Yep.
A lot of stuff that goes in the game starts with them. So there's the Hulkbuster armor Lego set.
Yep.
I went down there one day, and one of the guys had built a Stan Lee version, which was funny, which is really good. So that went in the game. One of the other guys wanted to one-up him and made a giant Squirrel Girl Buster armor, which doesn't exist in comics, and so that's now part of the lore. But you go down to their desks, and if you ever come to the studio, you need to have a visit. There is stuff down there that is so far out there that if that could become a game, now we're talking.
Oh,
now we're cooking on gas. But you know what? This is how a lot of people may not have seen it yet because it's on Steam Early Access. But there's a game called Lego Worlds, which is effectively, go out, build stuff, and just make what you want, but virtually in 3D out of Lego bricks.
Is that you guys too? Are you working on that one too?
Yeah. Not me personally.
Yeah.
It's John and Toby and a few other guys. But that started with like 4 people.
Right on.
And it started as a look what we did.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Let's carry that on. Let's carry and that's evolved, and that was just a bit of fun.
Tell me about I don't. How long have you been at TT? Were you there
18.
for the original Lego Star Wars release?
Oh well, yeah, well before that.
Okay.
18 years, I think I've been here. So.
Oh wow, man! Congrats, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And that speaks to the quality of the games that you guys make, and I've been to TT, and it's a very, very special place. We did the making of Lego Batman the first time that you guys did that game, and I loved it. I loved the visit, loved the game. It's a very cool space, and for you to have been there that long is really amazing, and it speaks to the quality of the company, which is great. But Lego Star Wars was, I think, the thing that really put this whole Lego demand on the map, and it was kind of an out of nowhere surprise. Tell me about because that changed everything for you guys, really, didn't it? Tell me about that. Tell me about what happened when Lego Star Wars hit.
That was we were in the old office at the time, and I was in the front barn working on I think I was working on Prince Caspian or something. It was one of the, because obviously we were known for doing tie-in film tie-in games,
right?
And, yes, we did some big licenses, like we took on Crash Bandicoot for a couple of games and things, but we were known for doing film tie-ins, and so I think it was Prince Caspian, something like that. And in the back barn, we'd started off doing something with Lego Interactive, and then Tom Stone, who's our current MD, had this crazy idea of putting Star Wars minifigures into a game and running around, and effectively that was how Lego Star Wars was born. But we didn't expect it to do anything.
Yeah.
There had been Lego games prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
We were in the front barn, we were the AAA, we were the film tie-in, we were going to be paying the bills and, making sure everyone, could pay their mortgages and stuff. And the guys in the back barn were like, what are they goofing around with? And, and then they got their first demo. And we all had a look at it, and I remember it now. The first demo was a speeder bike, 3 Lego trees, and a little speeder bike pilot, and that was it. And the minute you picked it up, it was like, this is amazing. It was like, this is something different.
Yeah.
And obviously, and then that game carried on. People forget there was no build it. You didn't build it. It was just, there was the Force, there was blaster characters, and there was lightsabers, and that was about it. You smash Lego, and that was, and collect studs. But when that game was finishing, we didn't expect it, to take off the way it did.
Well, I'll tell you something. I first got exposed to that game at Comic-Con. I was with Tommy Tellerico, my old co-host, and we saw it at the Lucasfilm booth with it because Eidos was publishing it, and it just seemed to be this buried game, and we both played it, and we're like, this is incredible. We were just raving about it at that Comic-Con, and we knew, we could feel like this is going to be a big game changer. This is really going to have an impact in the games industry. That's exactly what happened. And Eidos then never published another Lego game after that.
Well, it was the thing that Lego Interactive became Giant Interactive, who became TT Games, because we merged, and it was great because you had Tom and Jonathan from Giant Interactive, who are so passionate about games and have many years of experience, coming here, where obviously the company run by John Burton, and you had all of us guys here that would do everything we could to make the best game we could, given the limits that we would or wouldn't have. And seeing the reaction to Star Wars, seeing the fact that they didn't make enough copies, it just vanished.
Yeah.
And then at that moment, it was a case of, what have we done? We've created something, and the demand was there to obviously Lego Star Wars 2.
Well, let me put you on the spot. Star Wars is back in a big-ass way right now. You guys are owned by Warner Brothers, but you're clearly still working with Disney on this brand new Marvel game.
I still haven't seen that movie,
Well, you've been busy finishing your game, I'm sure.
I know.
It's Friday night and it's 11 o'clock and you're still working on the game.
I went and saw Revenant instead. I was like, why did I do that? It was like a 3-hour episode of Bear Grylls. It was like, I should have gone and seen Star Wars. So,
Star Wars, get inspired, and tell us that soon, I mean, you can use this podcast if you want to, that you guys are going to be making Lego Star Wars games for us very soon, because we all want them.
I'm sat with my Marvel toys for the next 3 months.
Gotcha.
There is lots of season pass content to get through,
awesome.
And I actually know what I'm on after that, and
do tell. It's just you and me, man. We're just having this Skype call, so it's just you and me.
I might be working and doing something related to something that's in this room somewhere. I don't know.
All right. Well, you have everything in that room right now, which is great.
Yeah. See?
Very smart.
Except my daughter.
Except your daughter, who is waiting for you. So, and we will let you get to that. So I'll ask a couple of quick questions here. Oh boy. Blake, you got something? There's a ton in here.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye. That's awesome.
DaVinci 2001 wants to know if there's going to be a demo of Lego Marvel's Avengers on the PS4 and Wii U.
Okay. Did you hear that? Is there going to be a demo of Lego Marvel's Avengers, Arthur?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
And the demo. So here's the thing. There was a thing called Christmas that happened, or the holiday season for everyone in America.
Yeah.
And obviously because of that, the office closed and we all went home.
Yeah. So no demo got made because of Christmas.
So it meant that getting the demo done, dusted, approved, out live, hasn't been the quickest. So at the minute, as far as I'm aware, it's out. The demo's out on PC, on Xbox 360. Might be out on Xbox One as well, I think. PS3 and PS4 was either going to be today or Monday, Tuesday. So
okay.
They're all coming. They're all in the internet, waiting to just happen.
Okay, we got
So, yeah.
one from Ajapam. Wants a 50 Shades of Lego game. Is that maybe that'll be a private one you guys
I was
can.
going to say, I saw that there is actually someone had done a YouTube video of it, and yeah, that's never ever going to happen. Sorry.
Do you guys?
We never say never normally,
Yeah.
but on that one, I'm pretty confident.
Do you guys look at those Lego movies and the vids that go up on YouTube for inspiration? Do you guys get some ideas and?
I wouldn't say for inspiration, but because we love all things Lego, I remember there was a brilliant Breaking Bad one. That was so good. I think it was called Bricking Bad, and that was really good. And some of them, like the work it takes for these guys that do the stop motion stuff, it's phenomenally difficult.
Yeah.
They do a great job. But we're the same. Like, you know, there's the TV show for Avengers Reassembled, I think it is. Lego Marvel's Avengers Reassembled. Yeah, we didn't get to see that, so we watch things like that. We watch everything. You know, I always say on Twitter, it's like I don't reply, but I see everything and I read everything. So that's what we will do.
Awesome. Got one from Grid Iron Warrior, wanting to know if the Guardians are going to be in this game. Do we have Guardians of the Galaxy at all?
No.
No?
We have a couple of the characters, Ronan the Accuser, the Collector, Nebula, Mantis. But what people have to remember is that they are not, as in the Guardians, they're not known as being Avengers at this moment in time.
Yeah.
You know, whether that changes in the future, who knows? But right now they're not. So for where we were going with this lens of the Marvel Universe, you know, we've got 250 other characters that we thought were a better fit.
Is that one of the bummers of your job a little bit? Is you are a fanboy for this stuff? Or are you finding out stuff before you want to find out about it, and you kind of know what's going to happen, and you don't want to know, but you find out because you're in that world?
Yeah, I try not to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I kind of had Avengers: Age of Ultron spoiled for me because obviously we had to see it before it was out.
Yeah.
And I remember we went for a set visit, and so because it was filmed in the UK, so we went down and we got told everything that was going on, and I'm sat there and I was just like, whoa, stop! I don't need to see anymore. Please don't spoil. Please don't spoil what's going to happen. But yeah, I still enjoyed the movie.
They're shooting Star Wars in the UK.
Are they?
Yeah. Okay. Blake, got another question?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I have a microphone now.
Okay, good.
Pizza Pie from YouTube.
Yeah.
Wants to know, because the Lego games are made for kids and adults, how do they walk that line between, making it kid-friendly and also appeal to adults?
Yeah, because they're supposed to be kid games, but I get stuck in them all the time. Yeah. And I actually, when I'm streaming the game, I'm usually asking for help because I'm stuck somewhere.
I don't know if Arthur can hear my microphone, though, so you might need to repeat the question.
Oh, can you hear what Blake asked?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's asking how we kind of find that, how we tread that line between adult humor, or adult appeal and appeal for kids in our core market, and it's. I think the fact is we've got a brilliantly talented group of people here, which is great, and they kind of know. But we have to still. There are times when we have to pull stuff. I'll be honest. Normally, if the humor's too crude, we don't. I don't personally agree with it, and a lot of us here will not agree with it. You know, toilet humor to a point is fine, but if it goes any further, no. So yeah, we know. We know where you can throw a joke in that's going to go over some heads straight into an adult's. But at the same time, I think if jokes are done right, it kind of works. Like there's one in Lego Marvel's Avengers where Banner transforms into Hulk before he chases Black Widow. And he lands down, pole between his legs. And he's like, oh, that's sore. And then he hits his head and and it's just a bit of slapstick, funny stuff.
Sure.
That goes across all ages. That stuff's perfect. But yeah, I sometimes I have to sort of just doff my cap to the cutscene guys. You know, you see some cutscenes and they are just laugh out loud funny.
Yeah.
Because I get to see them when it's all still grey boxes and they're not very exciting. But if that can make you laugh, or laugh even, then you know when it's fully like visualized, it's gonna be perfect. And we do put a lot of stuff in there, but it's because we go to the very bottom of the fanboy barrel, and we'll still take the Mickey out of stuff.
I love that you guys have kind of interactive cutscenes a little bit this time. When the Hulk says, "I'm always angry," you're kind of playing that really amazing cinematic moment from the Avengers in the game, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's again, it's down to the team because we sort of go, right, this is what we're going to make,
Mm-hmm.
and if it isn't for them and their passion and enthusiasm, we would make. I always relate to a soup, and it's like I've gone and asked for like a really nice tomato soup, and then you end up with this sort of like this amazing minestrone with all kinds of fresh vegetables and croutons and everything because everyone's just throwing into the pot, and it's getting that balance of making as much as you can, but still managing to rein it all in and get it finished. But the team here is phenomenal, and I owe a lot of people a lot of drinks because I pulled in a lot of favors and a lot of people went above and beyond for me.
That's awesome. Blake, you got another question?
Yeah, Loki Lego from Twitch. He wants to know who's Arthur's favorite Marvel villain.
That's a good question. Did you hear that? Who's your favorite Marvel villain?
And that question came from Lego Loki, was it?
Yes, it was. That's right.
Then I can only have one answer, and that would be that would be Lego Loki.
I think that was a little bit of mischief magic right there, wasn't it? He made you
Yeah,
answer that
absolutely.
way. That was good. Very, very good. Very pointed. You guys are doing something different with the visual look of the game, and I noticed it when I played the first Avengers stuff. You made it kind of that glossy 1940s thing. Are you doing that all the way? I haven't beat the game, so there's a lot still.
Okay.
But are you doing that all the way through? Are you kind of matching the sort of cinematic flavor of each of the movies?
We're doing it where we see that it's right to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason here's the thing, right? The reason that Captain America First Avenger content went in was because we were sat there going, right, how do we make Nick Fury going to a boxing gym and saying, suit up, like into a level?
Yeah.
And the only way to kind of do that was in the movie, there's that great flashback where, Steve Rogers is punching the punch bag and you get that flashback to the war. And we were like, what would be so cool to go right back and then replay, because, you've got Red Skull and Arnim Zola who are brilliant characters. So that's how that level came about. That was Steven's idea, and so then we were like, we have to make sure that without just slapping on the screen, this moment in time, we have to make sure that they know, that the gamer knows it's another time frame. So that's why that was introduced. But we did the same with Agent Carter, because in a Marvel timeline, and we've seen her in the movies, obviously, Agent Carter she's ancient, she's an old lady. So obviously, if you're running around the city, you're not going to see the Hayley Atwell,
Right.
young version that we all know and love. So the idea was you'd run around the city, you go and talk to old lady Agent Carter, at which point we'd transition you back to the 1940s.
Nice.
And sepia tone it so that there's been a transition, and then it's Hayley Atwell, and so the old lady go, oh, I remember Sonny when I was younger, yada yada yada, and then it's like phoomp, and then you're back in the 40s. You've got some 40s music, all the cars turn to 1940s cars, and so where it's appropriate, we've done it, and it's just a nice way of teaching the player. We did it in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
For Potter fans, for legitimacy lessons and things like that, so that you knew when you'd transition time, and it's a very visual thing, and you have to do that with Lego games. Everything has to be visual, and you'll know obviously, because you play games with your daughter, but it's you can't stick a load of text on screen and expect anyone to read it.
Yeah. Not for
So
these
you have
games.
No,
Yeah.
You have to be visual. So that's like, when our hints come up, you'll see the button prompts and certain things are in different colors. And it's actually just ways of tricking people into, they're not going to read it all.
Yeah.
They're just, button, press button, or color, recognize color. And that's mainly for adults, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
And that works, and it's the same with these visual treatments. And sometimes we put visual treatments in there to cause other emotions to the player as well. So we did it with Lego Marvel Superheroes with Venom when the lights go out and then suddenly Venom was on screen and it was just a real big scare moment. And Stephen did a similar thing with Weeping Angels in Lego Dimensions. And yeah, we like to try different things and see if they stick.
Well, that's my question now. You guys have done so many of these in so many different directions and flavors. What's new in Marvel Avengers that you guys have never done and that you're proud of, that you guys, gameplay-wise, that you guys have kind of worked out a new mechanic that we've never seen before?
For me, it was getting the team-up combos in.
Those are great, by the way. I love those.
It's Avengers is about teaming up, teaming up Earth's mightiest heroes to take down the bad guy, ultimately save the world. And so Lego games are a co-op experience. Why can't I do a special move with this guy when I want to? And we sat and we talked and we sort of figured out a way we could do it. And because it's very believe it or not, it's actually very complex. But yeah, any of those core 9 Avengers, so that's including Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Vision. Mm-hmm. They can team up with any of the others, but you'll get a unique move. So if you're Iron Man with Hulk, you get one move. If you're Hulk and you instigate it with Iron Man, you get a different move. And so you can imagine that multiplies out. That's like 72 special moves straight there.
That's awesome.
Which is effectively 72 weeks' work.
That's 165 pizzas. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Unless it's 2 for Tuesdays.
Okay,
all right.
Okay.
But yeah, things like that are what shakes things up. We also did something with the Hulkbuster fight. So you got a 2-player game, and I've got a set piece where Hulk fights the Hulkbuster. Who's player 2?
Yeah.
And that's the first thing you see. I was sat watching the movie, and it was like, jeez, who's player 2? And it was like, is it going to be just this generic, South African policeman? Yeah. It's like, I'm Hulkbuster and you're South African policeman number 7. So then you have to try and think outside the box, and you see things like what we've done in more core games, more mature games, and we decided we would let the player be the Veronica satellite. So they're effectively a moving camera, and then they can send bits down to help Iron Man. They can fire gas pellets to disperse the crowds, and then they can press a button that just says, back off, evacuate the area. And then all of a sudden, you've got a really good visual distinction between that and the Hulkbuster, and it kind of comes together. So that's where things get really, really good.
That's awesome.
But I think for me, that the first 2 minutes from putting the disc in to getting into the first level, that immersion is what
you're playing the opening of the Age of Ultron. The only thing that you're missing is language, and I'm wondering if that hit the cutting room floor.
Yeah, that's one of the things it did, unfortunately.
Did you have Iron Man say "darn" and then Cap say language or something?
No, we just because we obviously used the movie voices.
Yeah.
It was one of those things that was like, I don't think we're going to get away with that.
Yeah.
We pride ourselves on being family friendly. Let's stick to that.
Totally. How do you get the movie voices? I mean, what's the deal with that? And obviously, I saw that happen with the Ghostbusters and a few of the other lines in Lego Dimensions, which is amazing. But clearly, the audio recording for movies today is cleaner and more distinctive, so the samples sound much better in this game. But is that something that you have to kind of also negotiate with every one of the actors that they're going to be in this game as well?
It's always a little bit different depending on the property, depending on the game, depending on what you're going to do. Something we're working on for. I was going to call it its code name then for Avengers.
Yeah.
Is we have voice work where we're going to get somebody in to record original dialogue, like we did with Maria Hill, Kobe Smulders, and so on and so forth. So sometimes if it's right, then we'll go with you know, the voice work from the movies. Now you try getting all of the core Avengers. I bet those guys schedule. I bet they have no time anyway, any time to do
know.
anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a no-brainer. You know, we want it to be bang on authentic to the movie, and obviously, you know, you've had movie directors retake that shot again and again and again to get that performance bang on. Well, then it's perfect. We'll take that.
Yeah.
But then obviously you'll feed that in with a load of other stuff. But then if you dial back to Lego Batman 3, we had an Arrow DLC pack in the season pass.
Yeah.
And that one was like, well, you know what, we really want to get Stephen Amell to do the voice, and it was a case of, well, we can't use stem work because, you know, if you look in the show, there's nothing really apt.
Yeah.
And so we just reached out, and he was like, yeah, like I am Arrow. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, if there's going to be anything Arrow, it's going to be me. And
Perfect.
so we got him in, and that's when that sort of magic stuff happens. You know, people come to us, we go to people. I couldn't believe the voices they had in Dimensions, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I was and I sat in on a few of the sessions because I was just like, you know, fanboying out
For
over
sure.
Over some of the people they had in, and it was breathtaking. And it works brilliantly when you hear all those voices, and yeah, I think, you know what, I think it's cool to be a minifigure.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, especially as people get older and they get kids. I remember I watched a TV interview with Russell Crowe,
Mm-hmm.
and it was about around the time when they were promoting the last Superman movie, and they had I can't remember, it might have been Jimmy Kimmel or someone. They pulled a minifigure up anyway of Russell Crowe, and he was telling the story about how his kid has never ever thought he's cool until he was a minifigure. And the minute his dad's a minifigure, his dad's the coolest guy on the planet.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the fact he was in Gladiator and everything else, no, doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But now he's a minifigure, he's the coolest man ever.
Do we have
and I think that has it.
Do we have an Arthur Parsons minifigure? Are you in the game? No? What kind of crap is that?
No. See,
Dude.
people ask that all the time.
Yes. Dude,
I'm not
you
a
make the
Mar-
game. Put yourself in there.
Yeah. No, I'm not a Marvel superhero, you see.
Look at that hair in Lego. That would be amazing. Make that happen. You've got Greg Miller in this game, though. And
Yes, we have. Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Tell me how that came about. He's an awesome dude and tons of fun. But how did that happen? Did he have to beg you, or what was it embarrassing?
yeah, I had to bribe him to keep his T-shirt on.
Oh yes.
It's one of those things. We've obviously, you know, you've known him a good few years, and we've had a lot of fun doing, you know, stuff. You know, when he was obviously still with IGN, he's moderated a couple of panels. He's just a genuinely, you know, funny guy who loves video games. And his speech, by the way, at the awards ceremony was impeccable.
Yep.
It was, you know, we've had a lot of joking and laughing, and I just said to him one time, I said, you know, I should get you in the game somehow, and you know, you could do a voice because I just think it'd be really funny. And he was just like, you'd get me in the game? I was like, yeah. I tell you what, let's try and hook something up. So we were looking to cast someone for Aldrich Killian,
Mm-hmm.
and Greg thought we were going to get him in, and he was going to be a generic civilian, and, you know, you'd walk past and he'd go, "Hey, watch it! Hey, I'm walking here," you know? and it was like, no, we want you to do Aldrich Killian. We want someone that's going to have that kind of, you know, that, like, I'm the best, and, you know, you're not going to stop me, and Greg was like, I'm going to get to play Aldrich Killian, and it was just some fun, really, and yeah, he really enjoyed it. And it was actually funny because I listened to a podcast the other day with him, and he basically went into the booth having no idea what to do.
Yeah.
And being like, yeah, you know what, I can sit there and I can do my kind of funny stuff and all the rest of it, and it's me, and I'm Greg Miller. But then when
you're playing a character, yeah, it's a different thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, Liam O'Brien, our voice director, obviously did a great job on everything, but it was just really good. And I think Greg's takeaway from it was like, yeah, this is another cool, exciting, fun thing.
That's so great.
But yeah, it was fun. It was just a bit of fun, really, more than anything else. Because he's always been a big supporter of the games we do. He's enjoyed the games we do, even though he's puts me on the spot when I go and work on a Marvel game because he's a bigger DC guy than a Marvel guy.
Yeah. He's playing both sides now, which is cool.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Blake, you have another question?
Nova Sean from Twitch wants to know if there's going to be a Lego Ninjago console game. Because there have already been a few mobile ones, but they want to know if there's going to be a console game.
Good question. Do you know?
That I don't actually.
Okay.
Because it's one of those things. Obviously, there's a load of Ninjago content in Lego Dimensions they put in.
Yep. I know nothing about Ninjago, but I had to buy some of the figures so I could get the world and all that.
I know nothing either.
Yeah.
But like I've got a nephew, and it was just like, you need to get me this, you need to get Kane, and you need to get me like Sensei Wu and Kragger, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying. I use another language, but I'll see what I can do. But yeah, they did the Fusion guys did Shadow of Ronin on handheld, and then there was Ninjago stuff that went into Dimensions. So it's one of those. Who knows? It's definitely a never say never conversation.
Yeah.
But aren't they making? I don't know. I don't even know if they're making new figures. I was watching videos the other day from German Toy Fair of a load of the new ranges that had come out, because there was these cool little cars. I don't know if you saw them. I can't remember. They had a special name, and I can't remember if there's new Ninjago toys for this year.
New Lego vehicles?
Yeah, there was like cool little vehicles, but they were like miniaturized.
Yeah, I saw something. I can't remember what all the details were, but I remember a couple of images flashing past.
Yeah, there was definitely a superhero one. I can't remember. Anyway,
so cool. Yeah, you get to work in both those worlds, right? The toy and the video game world like that. Let's
I didn't get to go there though.
Yeah.
No one sent me to Toy Fair.
You got to make the games.
Yeah.
Couple more questions and then we'll let you go, Arthur.
Okay, yeah. Yankee Blue wants to know, is Lego Marvel's Avengers going to be coming to mobile?
Lego Marvel's Avengers coming to mobile. I know there's a Vita version. And give us a brief on the Vita. Is it the same game that we get on the console, or is it a different kind of take on it?
We're telling the same story.
Yeah.
But Stephen Thornton and the guys over it, because it's developed by our other studio, they wanted to do a different spin, but for the first time ever, they actually got an open world, a full realized open world experience, because people have been crying out for that.
And the Vita's powerful, man. It should have something like that. That's great. Cool.
So they absolutely nailed that this time, because they really wanted to go there, and it's on PS Vita, it's on 3DS. If the question was, is it mobile in terms of like iOS or anything, I don't know. I don't actually think there's any plans for that.
Well, they usually, if they do build one of those, it usually comes out after the handheld, the handheld gaming systems. Usually for 6 months or something like that.
But it normally goes on the posters and like at the bottom when you see all the logos. And I don't think there is one, so I'm not sure. I wouldn't like sit there going, I'm not going to buy it on Vita because it might come out, because I'm not sure this one will.
Okay, interesting. One more question, then we'll say goodbye.
Okay, this is probably one that can't be answered.
Yeah.
But Da Vinci 2001 wants to know, is there going to be any Lego games based on the upcoming Marvel Phase 3 movies?
I guess what's the future for TT Games and WB working with Disney and Marvel? Are we going to see more?
Well, here's the thing with the future. The future is effectively whatever people want, I guess, because you know what, with Lego Dimensions, we would have never done anything Doctor Who ever.
Yeah,
it's in Lego Dimensions. The same with Simpsons. It's in Lego Dimensions. Who would have thought we'd have, after Lego Marvel Superheroes, come back to the Marvel Universe? We have done. Because I was involved on Lego Batman 1, I never thought we'd go back to Lego Batman. And then, I sat 2 out. I came back, did Lego Batman 3. Lego Batman was in Lego Movie. And it's one of those things, we have no idea. When they did Pirates of the Caribbean, we didn't know, ever expect that we would do that.
Yeah.
There is a plan moving forwards. I know the plan for this year. it's as exciting as it ever is. But I've probably said it to you before, Vic. No one tells me anything too long term because they know that I talk openly to people, and I'm active on social media and all the rest of it. So I'm one of these. I just like I on the like run up to the release of Avengers. It was like they've not released this, that, and the other information, and it was like this character's going to be in the game. It's like, oh no, I've done it again. Why did I do that? And so
you get a lot of memos, I guess, huh?
I get told like that much. It's like we'll tell Arthur when we really need to tell Arthur.
Well, what's one that you want to make that you guys haven't made? What's a Lego? And maybe it's not even a Lego franchise, but you know, in your heart of hearts, what's something that you would love to see your studio make?
I always felt like I have unfinished business with Crash Bandicoot. I was a massive Crash fan. We got to do Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex. Crash Twinsanity was done by another a subsidiary of us at the time, and I've got unfinished business with Crash.
That's very interesting because you opened the door on games about games with the Portal in Lego Dimensions, and I think that would be a phenomenal mind trip for you guys to start making Lego Assassin's Creed or Lego Uncharted. Or I mean, it would be insane, but also makes a lot of sense because a lot of these things are multifaceted media properties now, and why the hell not? I think you guys could have a lot of fun with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and again, because I've been around a while. I remember one of the first games I worked on as a tester many moons ago was Destruction Derby.
Yeah,
and
that was an amazing game.
I still can't believe no one's brought that back.
Yeah,
but done it properly, really good.
Yeah.
There's so much good stuff that I'd love to work on. And I'm fortunate. I've worked on Harry Potter, I've worked on Batman, I've worked on Star Wars, I've worked on Toy Story, Finding Nemo. I've worked on so much amazing stuff that I think I'm actually quite spoiled.
Yeah.
And then to work on comic properties, which are probably my true love, they're I'm really, really lucky. Yeah, we have guys that have only been in the office 1 or 2 years. They're relatively new, and these are people that have grown up on some of the games that I've made. And
I'm telling you, brother, I'm playing these Lego games with my daughter, and it's a surreal thing for me because I've enjoyed all of this stuff as well. This run has been fantastic for me as a fan of all these things, but to see my kid love them and get excited for new Lego Dimensions characters, and now she's learning about the Avengers because of your game is pretty.
But it
phenomenal.
makes you see games through different eyes, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
When you're playing it with a small person,
yep.
It's like that's why games are exciting.
Yep.
It's that whole cynical. I grew up. I have to press X to do this, and things must be a certain way.
Yeah.
Playing it with a kid is it's so refreshing.
Well, it brings up the Iwata, quote of "We make games because they're fun and they're meant to be enjoyable," and that's exactly what you guys are building. You're not squandering it, and you are a terrific gentleman that's welcome on our shows anytime, my friend. And I really appreciate you giving up this long hour late at night to talk with us. And
anytime.
And congratulations on launching this huge game, and I can't wait to see what you guys have got cooking.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
thank
man. You take care.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
That was Arthur Parsons, and God, that guy's great, and he's made a terrific game. I've been having a blast with it. We're going to be playing it a lot more and talking about it a lot more on Vic's Basement and on the content that we've got with our EPN channel. So thanks, everybody, for watching, and thank you, Blake, and thank you, Aaron, for helping with getting this stream off the ground. We're going to be doing a lot more of these kinds of things as well. We'll see you next time in the basement. Thank you very much, and Stitcher!